Hello everyone and welcome back to another match preview on the channel. Today we are previewing the West Bromwich Albion game being played at Deepdale on Wednesday night, I do believe the 5th of September. Now we are recording this before Preston North End's game with Sunderland and West Bromwich Albion's game against Swansea City, I do believe. So had to be recorded during the international break. So today I am joined with Andy, and you could say maybe this game could be a little bit of a rivalry between Preston and West Brom, not for the reasoning that you're all probably thinking. We are related. I've done a bit of research, and he is my first cousin once removed, so maybe a little bit of a family rivalry if you want to agree to that for this game. Right, so thank you. First of all, thank you very much for coming on the channel to talk about West Brom and the preview to this game, and we'll just begin now.
PNE, we love you, PNE. We're the greatest team there's ever been in the coterie. We don't come from Blackpool or from Burnley. The crowd all cheer, pride of Lancashire. We love you, PNE. Come on, you Lily Whites.
So, West Bromwich Albion, currently just outside the relegation zone. They've only picked up the one win so far, but they've only lost two as well in the first 10 games. Even though it doesn't look like it at the moment, I think you're doing all right. But what are your thoughts of your season so far?
Oh gosh! It's I almost can't believe how it is. You know, we've won. Our record's very similar to Preston's record. You know, we've won just one game out of 10. We've drawn 7. We always seem to go behind, and then we spend the rest of the game somehow trying to get a goal to equalise. But if you actually look at the stats, and if you watch the performances, we should be doing way better. I mean, we're creating more chances than our opponents. Watford, was it the first home game that we had? We absolutely battered them. The first goal was that sensational goal they scored from their own half. And apart from that, I think they only got into our half once in the entire game. So most of the matches, we come away thinking, how on earth have we drawn that? You know, it's just incredible. So, but there comes a point, doesn't there, where it's no good saying you're playing well and creating chances when you're not winning the games. So I think Bruce could have gone in the international break. You know, I think he's on thin ice now. So we've got to have an upturn. We got to the point now where all that matters are the results. So it's definitely rivalry on, Oliver. Yeah, for this one, we've got to take 3 points from you.
I watched the Burnley game on Sky Sports, the Burnley versus West Brom game. When you grabbed that 7th minute of added extra time, late equaliser, you did enough to win that game because you had all the chances. But when it just comes down to putting the ball in the back of the net, you just fail to do that, and it is exactly like Preston North End this season. We've won 2, lost 2, and then the rest have been draws, 6 draws so far this season. Before the season started, where did you see yourself finishing? Because obviously, 2 seasons ago, you came down from the Premier League and you want to bounce straight back up. So, before the season started, what was your aim? Obviously, maybe top 6 finish.
I mean, I'm a bit embarrassed to admit this, but I honestly thought that we would finish 3rd or 4th in the table. Yeah, we signed 3 new players over the summer. We got Wallace in from Millwall, and we got Swift in from Reading, and then we got a Turkish player, Yakuslu, who we had in the Premier League, and he was comfortable in the Premier League, holding midfield player. So I honestly thought with those 3 players coming in, that we were going to be pushing the top 2, and definitely top 6. We've also got a striker, Daryl Dyke, who's an absolute beast. You know, he's potentially is the Haaland of the Championship, but he got injured after just 10 minutes on the pitch. He was injured for most of last season after we got him in at Christmas. If he's ever fit, he will be fantastic. But the only thing he seems able to do at the moment is to post videos on YouTube and such like. He's done nothing on a football pitch for us apart from those 10 minutes when he looked absolutely brilliant. So we're clinging on to the hope that maybe Dyke will get off the physio's couch and come back and play some football for us.
Right. Just going back like a couple of seasons now, like halfway through last season, I think Ismail was your manager. He obviously had the important job to try and get you back in the Premier League, but in the end, you finished 10th place in that season. Steve Bruce did come in halfway through that season and continued on into this season. And even though you are currently lower than where you finished last season, would you say that Bruce is playing a style of football that's exciting the fans more than when Ismail was in charge?
I think he is 100%. I mean, Steve Bruce has this reputation, doesn't he? And it's almost like no supporters want him at their club because they're all convinced that he's no good. But I don't buy that. Ismail was shocking. He'd been at Barnsley, and you may remember he got them into the top 6, I think, at the end of the season. But he'd done it with this pressing style of football. And he had all those 20-year-olds running around like maniacs for him at Barnsley. And then he came to West Brom and he had all these 30-year-olds and he tried to do the same thing. And it was never going to work. And to start off with, he did get the results because, to be fair to the players, they tried to play the way he wanted them to play. But if I take our 2 most skillful players, I mean, one of them you'll be very familiar with at Preston, that's Callum Robinson. And the other one's Grady Diagana, who we've still got. You know, those players, you could just see the style of football totally unsuited to them. And what happened with Ismail when we started plummeting down the table, it was inevitable. You could see he was trying to play 2 central midfielders, and they were Mowat and Livermore. They got no legs between them. They can't run. And he thought he was going to play twice a week in the Championship with that style of football. It was, the wheels were bound to come off. It was bound to end in disaster. And Steve Bruce, to give him his credit, he instantly changed stuff. You know, he tried different formations. Ismail always played with 5 at the back. Didn't matter how bad the game was going, he had to have 5 players on at the back. And Bruce tried different formations. He tried different players, trying to sort out who he needed for this season. And I quite like him. And despite the fact the results are not going our way, I hope he does succeed. And there's no question about it. The football we're playing is better. It's more exciting, unfortunately, for everybody because we're good at letting goals in as well. But definite improvement there.
Yeah, I think really most teams know this in the Championship, all about getting a run of wins together because you had a chance really to do that with Steve Bruce. I mean, I think you were like won 5-2 over Hull City, and then in the following game you were 2-0 down to Huddersfield Town in like the first half an hour, which I think you did actually come back to draw that 2-2 at full time. But it's quite a lot like Preston at the moment with getting quite a lot of chances but just not finishing them. We've got probably the best defence in the league. Just I've seen lots of stats online and just individual defenders. All our defenders are up there. Story, Lindsay, Brady, even Woodman has got an 85% save record for shots faced on target. So goalkeeper and defence, probably the best in the league. And then when you get up to the top end of the pitch, just lots of wasted chances because we got Troy Parrott in on loan from Tottenham last season, and there's lots of high expectations for him, but so far he's only scored the 1 goal in the 4-1 victory over Huddersfield in the Carabao Cup, not scored a league goal so far, and he just takes way too many touches. He had a really good chance for Ireland last night in the Ireland-Scotland game and he just shot it straight at the keeper really bad. Emile Rees, who is our other striker, got 20 plus goals last season. Still, he has scored 1 actually so far in the 1-0 victory over Coventry, but still yet to really find some form as well. So yeah, I think the midfield as well. I mean, Alan Brown and Daniel Johnson, who were like been here for about 8 years now. They are like the two long-serving servants at the club, and the form's just dropped a lot, and we need to change something up in that midfield. But our manager Ryan Lowe said that is sticking with the formation, which is the 5 at the back formation, like you were saying with Ismail. And sometimes it just you need to change it rather than letting the players adapt to you. The manager needs to adapt to the players at certain times as well. But currently, who are your standout players coming into this game? Who's on some good form, and who should we look out for?
Okay, the first one, perhaps if I pick on a player who I don't think is on very good form, and that's our goalkeeper, Button. I'd love to give you guys at Preston some hope, so I'll just mention Button. Honestly, whenever a striker gets a shot at this guy, he always seems to put it in the corner where Button can't get it. So I hear that you've not scored many goals, but I think your strikers could fill their boots against us. So Button's one to get quite excited about if you're a Preston supporter. All I've seen him do this season is pick the ball out of the back of his net. Apart from one penalty save, he's hardly made a save all season. So he's one to get excited about. Another one for you to get excited about is our fullbacks. They're definitely better going forward than they are defending. We play a flat back 4, so that'll be one of the pivotal areas of the game. But so far as the players you've got to be concerned about, I mean, maybe with your defence, you haven't got to be concerned about these players because your defending seems to be right up there. But the 3 I would say to look out for Jed Wallace, who we got from Millwall. He's right winger, and he's like a machine. He just goes up and down that right-hand side, cross after cross. So you've either got to cut the supply line out to him, or your wing back possibly, or the left-sided centre-back's got to be right on their game. So he's definitely one to look out for. In centre of midfield attacking, number 10 position really, we've got Swift, who we picked up from Reading. I've been a little bit disappointed. He hasn't quite run the games as I thought he might do, but he is a threat around the opposition penalty box. So you definitely don't need to be giving him any time to shoot. And then the player that the game may hinge on is Grady Diagana, who's a left-sided attacking player. He's a fantastic talent, wonderful footballer. But he has some days when he's on it, and he does have other days when he's very quiet. So, I love Diagana. The fans love him. If he's on it, don't give him any time on the ball, because if your players give him time on the ball, they'll be punished. So I think those are the three to look out for.
Okay. Right. Just before we go on to the score predictions, do you see yourself improving after the international break? Are you confident that you're going to climb up the table, and where do you think roughly you'll finish this season?
Okay, I've got to stick. I've got to be brave, haven't I, and stick with my prediction of 3rd in the table. But right now, that's looking a bit ridiculous. So I think we will improve. I mean, at the end of the day, if we don't improve and improve quickly, then Bruce will be gone, and somebody else will come in. And I think they would have the players there to be able to improve and improve quickly. I think when Ishmael went last year, it was always going to take a while to turn around. But yeah, I think we will improve. Honestly, now I'm looking at mid-table, but the table's still tight, isn't it? If a team has in our position has a run, and like you say, it's all about stringing the wins together, then the top 6 is achievable. But based on our results so far, it's mid-table, and it's the parachute money running out, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, right. Let's have a look at some of the head-to-head between Preston and West Brom. Last time we played you, we beat you 2-0 at your place, and it was a 1-1 draw last time you came to Deepdale. I think we'll probably go back to our old ways in this game, and I'm just going to go for a goalless draw, so I'll go 0-0.
Okay,
Yeah.
you haven't seen us play. We will let a goal in. We'll probably let a goal in the second minute or something, and then we'll probably score an equaliser again in the 7th minute of injury time. That's if we have a good day. If we have a bad day, it could fall apart completely. The players are under pressure. Bruce is under pressure. It fell apart a bit against Birmingham City. They scored 3. I think they were 3-1 up at one point. So I think it hinges a lot on the fixtures we've got in between. I think if we get a win against Swansea in that home game, then yeah, I'll go 1-1 score draw. If we lose against Swansea, there'll be so much pressure on us. I'd have to go for a 1-0 Preston in that case.
Okay.
So I shouldn't say that, should I? I should be backing us all the way, but we've only won 1 out of 10, so how can I back us to beat Preston?
Yeah. Okay, right. That'll be it. Thank you very much for coming on the channel, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.